So welcome back, friends. I have a very exciting video for you today. Probably the most requested video that I remember in recent history, and that is the cheapest EDC knife on Amazon. Cheapest folding EDC knife, real type of pocket knife on Amazon. What my criteria was to have something that was folding, lockable, and a pocket clip. And this, at the time of this video, was it. How much do you think something like this would cost? What do we have here? Well, I'll save that to the end here. So just so you know, I have carried this around for probably about 10 days or so. Used it in a variety of tasks, just in my regular EDC knife. Swapped out my tried and true Benchmade 940. Give you a little scale there. This is a little bit bigger. And use this. So what do we have here? So we have a assisted opening, drop point, I don't know, what is that, a 3-inch blade or so, stainless steel knife made by who? What's it say? Master Usa Ballistic. Man, that sounds so tactical. If we flip it over, we can see here, of course, it's built by the Chicoms, the Chinese, the communist Chinese folk. And there is, I don't know, M-U-A-D, stainless, I don't know what any of that means. Not that we could trust any of it anyway, we don't know. It's steel, how about that? What do we have? So we have, not only does it have a thumb stud here. We get the thumb stud. We'll see if that's threaded later. It's got a little flipper right there. And to my great surprise, it's assisted opening. And it is actually very, very, very nice opening knife. It's a fun knife to open. It opens good either way. I was really surprised at that portion of it. Well, it doesn't stop there. We've got a bolster design there. Do you see that? What does that mean? See, we've got those little pillars. I always like this. I prefer that pillar style construction because I get a bunch of junk and goobers and pocket lint and things in this type of a knife that you end up there fishing out. And if you use it to cut food or cheese or sausages, you always get stuff down in there and it's really hard to clean. This is kind of nice because it passes through, but that's kind of a difference in the design. What else do they give us here? They give us a seatbelt cutter. It doesn't utilize the blade per se or at all. It's got its own little blade in there, the little chisel grind. I guess you could cut some wimping. That's not important to me. I probably never ever use that. I forget I even had it on there. And then of course we have a glass breaker. Would I use that? I don't know. I've never used one before. I've got a lanyard hole there too, little lanyard hole. Scales here feel like to me, look at that there's real reptile skin of some sort. Isn't that nice? It's very, very tactical. Very cheap feeling, probably an ABS plastic. I guess it kind of feels like a Benchmade Griptilian. That's why I don't like that knife. I've had several of them and they're such a great value, but it's that, you hear that? That tinny hollowness, I can't get over it. Just can't get over it. Got a pocket clip on there, and it is a, what is it? We got tip down carry versus, how do I usually carry this there? Tip up? I think I usually prefer tip up. It doesn't make that much difference to me. And the pocket clip seems to be pretty decent. It does bury in the pocket. It's right up to the top. I do like that. You don't even really notice it's there. But that's kind of the features of it. Let's get inside of it. Let's take a look and see what's going on and kind of tell us. Did I tell you the price on this? How much do you think this thing should cost? What do you think for a assisted opening flipper pocket knife, stainless steel? What? 20 bucks? 25 bucks? 10 bucks? No, keep going down. 7? No, keep going down. How about 6 bucks? 6 bucks free shipping. That's magic. How can that be done? I don't know how it can be done. But let's just take a look inside here. We're going to use our handy dandy Kershaw knife tool. Boy, I like this little thing here. Take this apart. Maybe we can even, oops, oh goodness. This is assisted opening. That means it's got springs. Oh, this will never go back together again. Well, I did have my fun with it. Oh goodness, that's not going to be, oh man, look what I've done. Look at that. There's a spring. Oh. Okay, well, we'll take a look here. So we got our liners. They're very thin liners. We got that spring in there. Obviously, that was our assisted opening. What do we have in here for bush? This is my main thing, was these bushings. What do we have in there for that with these? Do we have, actually have, looks like a bronze. We have a bronze bushing on one side, and we have a plastic. Is that a plastic bushing? What is that? We've got a plastic bushing on the other side. Haven't seen that before. No nylon deal there. What else do we see here? We could see the bolsters in there. Here's the liner lock. There's actually a little detent in there. I can't believe that. There is a detent, and that keeps that. That's to keep the blade from opening when it's in the closed position. That surprises me right there, that's in there. That's a fair amount of machining in there. Here you can see the liner lock on there, and then we have this glass breaker. How's that being held in there? Let's grab a little pair of pliers to get to the bottom of this. What is going on with that thing? Is this plastic? Plastic with brass. That come out of there? What is that all about? Is that metal? It is metal. So that's just kind of captured in there by that little brass insert. Well, that surprises me. That's it's actually a lot of detail in there. Uh-oh. Where'd this come from? Did this go right there? Is that where that was? Well, we got these little guys, little steel, and they've got brass inserts as well, don't they? Wow, incredible. I don't know how they could possibly do that. All that, that's a lot of work in there. Let's look at the scale. Of course, we've got the scale is all hollowed out there, just kind of what we expected. Nothing new there. Probably, it feels pretty brittle. Oh, it's brittle. It just cracked a little bit there. It's not super tough stuff right there. But we didn't expect a whole lot there, did we? But yeah, I mean, pretty standard here. We can see right there that is captured. That little seatbelt cutter there is captured in there somehow. Now that's just held in there with this little doohickey. Does that thing come off of there? Oh, we got screws in there still. Well, we might as well get to the bottom of it, right? Hopefully I don't want any of this to come apart anymore. I have to. I'd like to be able to get it back together again. Looks like I got the wrong bit there. What is behind this? What's this all about? See how that works. Oh, there we go. There we go. We can see it now. That's just a little, it's just held in there right there. See that little groove? You can see the cutting edge on there. That's not too bad. Actually, I'm surprised that they put, I thought maybe they just screw right there into that nylon or the plastic, but they put those little tiny brass inserts in there. Imagine that. Amazing. And there's sure enough, there's a detent in there. I still can't believe that right there. To line up with that little, right there, see that? You see the wear mark on it? Where it goes around and stops in there? That's pretty nice right there, actually. That's really nice. $6. God, are you kidding me? Okay. Now, can we get it back together again here? Maybe. I'm not sure what's going on with that spring. I should have paid closer attention to that. Okay, so how does that work? You know, we just might not have an assisted opening knife here when I get done with it. So it went like this, right? Okay, that looks pretty straightforward. So that must have just been captured in there. So that just fits in that hole in that blade right there. You know, we might be in luck here. We might have an assisted opening knife again. I don't know what's holding that backside. I guess it's just maybe by the screws. Let's put it back together and just see what happens here. Right there. I know that goes, I think that goes in there. I gotta put the lens back up on its pins. Okay, that feels good. All right, let's put it back in here. Hopefully that'll just, what were the order here? These screws are so small. Boy, those are tiny little guys. And my thing's all magnetized, so they're all sticking on here. I wanted to get it together because I want to do a little torture test and see how that feels and how that lockup is on that blade after using it pretty heavy for over a week. So here's our pivot screw. We should be able to adjust the blade tension and any play that might be in the blade. Boy, if this goes back together again, I'll be surprised. I mean, some of those knives are pretty complicated. No, it's not one. I don't know what's going on here. Oh goodness, we got all sorts of problems now. Oh, there is it. Did it catch? Oh, it did. It did. Is it gonna work? No, we've got serious problems here. Serious problems. It's all loosey-goosey here. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Okay, so I've got everything pushed together. So when we unlock the blade here with a liner lock, that obviously that knife fits in that hole there, or that spring fits in the hole of that blade. Where does that spring go though? Is that compresses? It looks like there's maybe like a little cutout in the handle right there. See right there where that spring that's what it seems. It's quite simple, where that spring would go up, just push up against there and kind of hold tension, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Okay, so maybe I didn't have that spring in its little house, in its home where it belongs there. Is that the, okay, so now that feels better. Let's see if I can get okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that was it. I just didn't have it in its little housing right there. Well, that's a lot easier to work on than an Omega spring, isn't it? Made the mistake of taking a Benchmade spring apart one time. Goodness. Those are complicated to get back together again. I don't take them apart anymore. Okay, let's get this thing back together really quickly because I want to do a little fit and finish test on there. Okay. Yeah, I think, can't believe it. We got it back together again. That wasn't that bad at all. Okay, let's take a look at the durability. Well, so as far as my experience with it, for just living with it and working with it, as I said, I didn't use any of that nonsense on the back. Don't like the handles. The scales are okay, but they're okay. They're grippy. They feel good. How's that liner lock look or lock up there? Listen to this. Well, now that I took it apart, it doesn't work very good at all. Used to work good. There we go. Doesn't work near as good after I fiddled with it. And we got a little bit of looseness there in the pivot pin. Let me tighten that up. That's my main concern, is this pivot pin. Okay, it was just, I just had a little bit loose right there. That actually locks up pretty good right there, doesn't it? You can hear that. Liner lock. Kind of an interesting side note, what I learned is one of my favorite knives is this one, this Victorinox. This is their one-hand opening knife. It's a great knife. $29, a little bit more expensive knife. But the liner lock on the Swiss Army knife, it goes the other way. It goes to the right, which is really hard to get used to. Where this, like in all the American knives, they go to the left. It does lock up good though. It locks up really good. Don't have any side-to-side play in it. It feels pretty tight even after I fooled with it. Here is my main concern. I don't think that there's a lot of strength right here in the pivot pin. Like if I take a Benchmade here, you know, I mean, this is as hard as I could. If I go hard as I could go, I can't bend that. I can't deform it. I can't. It's bulletproof. It's just absolutely just top shelf stuff right there. the Benchmade. Couldn't break it if I wanted to. Man, if I stepped on it or put my whole weight on it maybe, but I can't break it with my hands. Now, on this little guy, the Master USA Ballistic, if I do the same thing, ooh, that's not good. Look at that. Look at the deflection. I feel like I'm bending it. I'm bending the knife. It's all loose in there now. It's all wobbly. It's not good. The liner lock doesn't work quite as well. What happened there? What's going on? I can see the bushings. Did it loosen up? I mean, can I correct that by tightening it? Yeah, I can. It's tight again. The lock's working again. It's a little bit too tight. It's too tight for the assisted opener to work. Okay, I think I know what's going on here. So what's going on is that it's just crummy. It's just thin. The pivot, these liners are they're not hard. They're not very thick. I mean, they're the same thickness of the Benchmade. They just must be an inferior steel. Look at the size of the pin on the Benchmade, that stop pin now, it's huge. Well, you know, there's not that much difference, to be honest with you. I don't know why that is. It's just not very strong. I wonder if I can break it without cutting my hand. I mean, the whole knife, I think I could snap it. I think I could snap it in half. I'd rather do this with gloves on. You know, something's going to break on me, and of course it'll go into my hand. But it's not super tough. But what happens here is if you take the little Torx screw and tighten it up, it like really tight, and then back it off a little bit, it kind of, where the liner has deformed, it kind of brings it up tight again, and you kind of get a second life on the whole thing. My hand's a little bit greasy there on that, but a little bit too tight. But that's what it is. I mean, it's not, it's a $6 knife. It's a $6 knife. What's the quality of the steel? Well, what do you expect? Who knows? I mean, it's just hard to say. It came sharp. I mean, I don't know if it's shaving sharp. Actually, it is. Look at that. And this is after a use. This is after a week's worth of use. That's actually really sharper than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, and I've used it quite. I used it quite a bit. You know, I've been cutting cardboard boxes and tape and thing, but well, it's not near as bad as I thought it was going to be. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm surprised at all that detail. And the detent. How about I still can't get over that they actually did that. You know, same thing. So you can't. You know, even the Benchmade. I mean, I can shake the Benchmade out. I could probably, yeah, I can open it. You know, without even getting into the axis lock. You know, that's, some guys don't like that. Could I do it with? I can't do it. No, it's the detent is stronger. No, but that does not make it does not make it better than the Benchmade. I don't care what you say. That's not a big issue for me. But ouch. That's it. That's it. I mean, it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad for a $6 knife. I mean, this is definitely the weak point here. Now, it's not going to be I wonder if this thing is threaded. That would really be something, because that's quite a bit of machining to do something like that. Do you think that they actually threaded that? Or is it pressed on or something? Let's find out here. This is, of course, the right tool for the right job here. Some needle nose and electrical pliers. We're going to have to get more serious on this, to get medieval with the vice grips. I want to know, don't you? I want to know what's going on there with that stud. We'll either find out, it'll either come loose or it'll break. Let's see here. That'd be something if that was threaded. All that machining. Is it really? I don't believe it. Still tight. I think it is. Surely not. Where's the other piece at? No, I didn't think so. It's just it's just pressed on there. Yeah. It's pretty tight though. I don't know that it would ever come loose. Just pressed on there, isn't it? Huh? So this goes in first. That fits tight, kind of. So let's take that on there, and it's just a press fit. So if we take our pliers there, that should just press back on. It'll never be tight again, but I'd use a flipper anyway. Yeah, well, it's pretty much ruined, but well, that's how they did it. At least now we know. Yeah, that would have been something to have that be threaded like that. You know, of course, like the Benchmades are. But that's a, what's that, $170 knife? This is only a $6 knife, so we can't compare the two. But there you go. There's the review of the cheapest EDC folding knife on Amazon for $6. Would I recommend it? For a beater knife, a tackle box knife, or if you just can't decide on which one to get, or you just lost your Benchmade and you vowed never to buy an expensive knife again, yeah, probably be fine. It's not going to be a paint can opener. It's not going to be a pry and stuff open knife. It's simply going to be, you know, just a cutting. I think at that it would probably be okay, but I wouldn't put a whole lot of confidence in it, if you know what I mean. All right, that's it. That's my review of the cheapest EDC knife on Amazon, the Master Usa Ballistic. I'll put a link to this in the description and in the comments. You can go take a look at it, and you can order your own.